So, for those of you who don't know, Nala is 6. She's gonna be 7 in a couple of months. But that would mean she was born in 2015, right? So Nala was born in 2015. You know, we have one and thing. I didn't work for a year after I had her. Not because I didn't want to work, but because Nala was exclusively breastfed. That almost turned into a tongue twister. Exclusively breastfed, yes. So she only drank from the breast, not because I didn't want to do anything else, but that's just how she was. She didn't drink buckle. She didn't take porridge and those things. To this day, she's a picky eater. And so for a year, I was out in terms of not working. Alright, in 2016? No, because she was late 2015, so when I owed all of 2016. So 2017, I got a job in a farm store. It was actually my brother's farm store. He said, you know, sis, I go to a farm store, and I'm like, you're the top man, that's something I ordered. I said, girl, you so excited. And so I got the job. But there's a difficulty. Where I live, I have to take a taxi into the town. I'm from Manchester, so you know, so the town is Mandeville. So I take a taxi into the town and then take a taxi to where the farm store was. And then in the evening, I have to take a taxi back into the town and back home. So it was 4 taxis I was taking, and me have Nyla with me because I one in the farm store work, and he got us a crib in there because what we keep her, she not drink buckle, she not nothing, it's so titty. So he got us a crib in there, so she would stay with me in the days. Alright. I was there for about 3 months or so. But the math wasn't my thing. The math in terms of money, because you know me, I pay 4 fare at the time, plus I have Nyla to take care of in terms of pampers and wipes. Though she not drink tin feeding, pampers and wipes are still quite a heavy cost. And then there's me. So the math wasn't my thing. So I had a friend who was working at a pharmacy in the town at the time, and she said, I was talking to her, and she was telling me that they were looking for a pharmacy technician. I was a certified pharmacy technician, and so I said to her, alright, yeah man, I'll apply. So I applied, I got through, got excited now because I think they were telling me that I was getting 50,000 or almost that for the month, but they would pay me fortnightly. So I say, yeah, girl, excited, but here or now, I didn't factor in the fact that Nyla still don't take bottle. So and the only person I really trust to keep her at the time, to be honest, was my mother. My mother didn't live with me, so I'd have to take a taxi into the town, take a taxi to where my mother was, take a taxi back into the town. And by the time I got back into the town, sometimes I was so late. And where I was working, like you had to clock in with your fingerprint. So, and you would get time once you were late that it would be deducted from your pay, or you get warnings and stuff like that. Me never depend on me, just come here, be the probation. That's a no from me. So I ended up having to take a taxi from up into the town to where the pharmacy was. Yes, still in the vicinity of Mandeville, but I still have to take a taxi to go there in order to get there on time. Did this for a little bit, and me actually said that was too much for me, to be honest. That was way too much for me. I was so tired, and then on Saturdays I would work like 12-hour shifts. So I would be there from 8 in the morning until 8 at night. There were other times also that we would work on shifts, so the shift would change. Sometimes it would come 8, sometimes it would come 12, and having to pick up Nala at night after my shift, some of the time she would be so sick. Like I would be visiting the doctor very often with her because she has really bad sinuses into now, and she has asthma. So having her out in the cold or picking her up from mommy and she'd be sleeping or whatever, and then having to take her home, sometimes rain catch her on the road, and it was too much. And I said, this is not it either. So I had another friend who was working where I'm working now. And she said to me that somebody was going to resign, so they were looking for somebody to fill the position. So I said, alright, I'm going to apply. I applied and I got through for the job. And I said, alright, this is better in terms of I don't have to work shifts. So it's Monday to Friday, 8:30 to 5. That's fine. I still have to do the whole running up and down in terms of bringing Nana to mommy, picking her up in the evenings and whatever. So I thought it would have been easier, especially on her health. That's the major reason why I changed jobs, because I really like being a pharmacy technician. And the intent when I was going to pharmacy technician school, when I was studying to become certified, was to eventually move on to become a pharmacist. That never worked out, or that hasn't manifested. So, but it was really her health, so I decided to change jobs. Alright, so we still do the back and forth from my house to Mandeville, from Mandeville to where my mother lived, back into work. But it's just that where I worked, I didn't have to take another taxi to get there. I could walk easily, or some of the times I would ask the taxi to just divert because they could still drive there to get into the town. Or the friend that had recommended me for the job, she lived near to where my mother lived, and so her boyfriend sometimes I'd catch them, and so I'd get a ride into the town, so I'd save that money. But after a while, it began to get hectic still, because I want to taxi that's a lot of transportation for somebody who has a baby. Not only that, where I used to live, run on one place, run on one part, way into the community. So I'd have to be walking like a good 10 minutes in the morning, and it's not like a flat walk. I have to go up one hill, down one hill, round one corner, up one hill, down the hill, and whatever. So it was hectic. And by the time I reached the same, girl I said, girl don't fit. Girl never did fit. Girl never did exercise and something there. Girl never fit. So girl did a sweat hard. It was a lot. And so I said to myself, this ain't it. So I decided, while I was working for my brother at the farm store, I'd actually learned to drive because he had vehicles. I've always wanted to drive a manual transmission, stick, standard, whatever. I always want to drive that. I've never really been a fan of automatics. Not sorry, but. And so one of his drivers had taught me to drive at the time, and so girl could have to drive, and then girl would get licensed. So girl say, you know what, girl, I go buy a car, but girl don't have no money. Girl don't have no money. I think at that job when I just started, they were still paying me the $50,000. So girl, I say, oh, we're gonna buy a car. In my head, I'm not taking out a loan. I'm not taking out no loan. I'm going to buy this car. Anyways, so I started to research the type of cars that I would get, and then one day, I don't know any of you who know Suzuki Alto, but it's like a long time on them, not the nowadays on them, them small to me, like the nowadays on them, but a long time on them. I saw one drive past on there, and I just got this bright idea that is the car. Hit hard little, and I was hearing that it don't burn a lot of gas and those things. So girl is sold. Girl is sold. I had a friend who was driving he wasn't driving an Alto, he was driving a Daihatsu Kuri. I'm gonna put a picture at the time, and I was talking to him, and I said, yeah man, it can work and it don't burn gas and da 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 da. So I said, yeah, this sound like it, and it came in manual transmission. Stick? Girl is gonna look one. Anyways, so I don't have no money same way. Like I'm earning $50,000. I don't have any money put aside to say, because I just started to work. All of this happened within months in 2017. I just get to work then. So I just skip. This, when I came to where I work now, it would have been like May of 2017. So say I want good like 5 months. All of this happened between. So I really didn't get any time to like save up money or anything like that. So I get a plan on my plan. I started to look for the vehicle. I don't have any money. I'm looking for the vehicle. Every time I called though, they were going really fast at that time because again, they're small, they're said to be good on gas, and everybody starting out, you want to look a small car, you want something when I have a kilo packet on gas. So I said, alright, looking for them. But I couldn't find any Altos, so I decided to go with the Daihatsu Kuri. I look, And then one day I saw this one in St. Anne, but it was for $200,000. It was a 1995 all car. $200,000. But girl excited cause see there, one nice blue color in my eyes. And I said, this is it. So the plan was, what I did was, my mother had some, my mother that was saving. So I make sure I find the car first. I'll contact the seller. And I went to my mother and I said, Mommy, I'm find a car. I'm like, yo, we're going to borrow the money from you. I actually bought the entire $200,000 because I thought, because you know, when you buy a car, you're going to need money for license. At the time, not license, insurance, but at the time, you never know insurance for your license because I got my license 2016 or 17. Somewhere there. Don't remember. Yeah, 2017 because it just renewed with the so I just get license, you know, license new. The younger your license is, the more expensive your insurance is, along with other factors, but that is one of the factors. I never did know that. Me think insurance cheap. I thought it was cheap, so I'm just like, you know, I'm gonna take the 200 from her, I'm not gonna pay 200 for the car, I'm gonna negotiate, and whatever extras I have left that would go to insurance, registration and license. Not so. However, um, my mother agreed and she loaned me the $200,000 and take a car with my cousin. And my cousin brought me down. Now here's the intent. When my cousin brought me down, he drives an automatic, or he was driving an automatic at the time. But here's the intent, because when I say no, I haven't really had any on the road experience by myself. Cool? So girls say, alright, you're the pram in my head. Me not tell him this, but I say, alright, I'm gonna carry me down. Me will drive the matic come back up. Cause that easy, I just gas brake. And him drive the stick come back up, so I don't really have no problems. Cause I wasn't good on hill start, and if you know anything about driving a manual transmission, and if you ever don't know, I'm gonna tell you. That is not the hardest thing, because it's a balance between the clutch and the gas. The vehicle is not supposed to go back. So if moving off of a hill, the vehicle is not supposed to go back. But if you don't catch that nice balance, you have to find what is called the biting point of the clutch. So it's where the clutch is not going forward, it's not going backward, but if you gas it enough, it will go forward, right? I wasn't confident in that. Me never did know that the car would run back, or worse, it would stall, which means it shut half, right? So in my head now, I say, alright, I'm going to go down, and then I'm going to drive the car, come back up, and then, you know, I can't catch me, go practice for me up on the street and embarrass myself. On the way to St. Ann, my cousin carry the head gasket. Start overheat, head gasket leak. We'd have to go Brownstone, buy a head gasket. The same person I was going to buy the car from. We'd have to call him, he had to come get us, take us to Brownstone, get the parts for the car, take us back to luckily we were done in front of a mechanic shop. Come back to the mechanic shop. My cousin was versed in what he was doing, so he was able to fix it himself. I never really cost no money right there, so but no, I cannot drive the vehicle go up, because if it is overheating, it going in an experienced driver now to say, you know, whatever, temperature gauge, whatever, this is the point where I stop and can I make it cooler or whatever. So girl, I forgot drive the car, go up.
What?
Girl, nervous, girl, hot. Girl, hot. Go on with itself, cause me I said to myself, so then no embarrassment for reach me outside. Then me now go outside the stall, because I mean, coming from St. Ann into Manchester is not that bad, but it's on a rich place like coming from Spalding down now. It's straight hill, it's bare hills coming up. I said, Lord, do may I drive now? May I drive? One of the time we stopped at a little place, and I had to start the car again. And I said, okay, Kiana, is a little incline, so it's almost like a hill start. And I just get nervous and I start panic. And my cousin said, no man, everything good man, do your thing, and we got it to go. And I said, people, and I said, Jesus, I'm not stopping. I'm not stopping. If I see nothing in front of me, I'm not stopping. I'm coming home because I cannot take the embarrassment on these streets. Anyways, reach as far as Padding and everything good. We had to stop a couple of times on the road in order to like get the car to cool down, throw coolant in there or whatever. Because I don't remember, I think there was a part that still needed to be done. I think it's a seal, but we never did get that, so we had to kind of drive it like that. Alright, so we reach Spalding now. Yeah, alright. Ready, almost home. Yeah, girl, no stall. Well, we did stall one time, but yeah, girl. Girl, I over the car now. Girl, I drive. Reach out now. I don't know, for those of you who are from Mandeville, you know, Hatfield, Cameron Industries is right there, and you make the right turn. I may have come in and message you, there's nothing traffic there, because there's always traffic there, because there's always people trying to turn off, and then traffic coming from St. Elizabeth side, they can't stop to let nobody cross. They're not stopping. So I'm there, I may approach it now, I may see the traffic have moved, so what I'm doing is I'm trying not to approach too fast. So I'm going to have to catch the traffic and stop. I say, alright, I'm going to slow down and go up there. So by the time I go up there, the traffic will clear and I'm okay and go cross. I go up there now, I say, yeah girl, sit you know. And girl about go cross, girl is not going cross because the vehicle is stalled. The vehicle stalled. Hey, you know how life stay? Everybody and them dog was outside that day. Me mean everybody. The place full of people. I mean, so much people come from A. So me know I try to get the car to start back because I need to clear the road. Me hold up the traffic. It cannot start back. Like it start back but I can't make the cross because it depends on the hill and I don't know if to do the hill starts. And in my head, there's one way you can do it, which as an inexperienced driver, that's really what I should have done, was to use the handbrake. And then when me kind of figure out, you know, it's easier to do with the handbrake, but I decided that wasn't what I was going to do because girl can drive. Anyways, eventually I went across. No girl by car, no. Girl do have no car seat. Girl do have no preparations. Alright, so I have this car now, but I have this $200,000 to pay back. What am I going to do? I obviously don't have any money saved. So this is what I did. Say partner, but decided say my friend was, her mother was doing a partner, $10,000 per hand and the job would have been $100,000. Now if you do the maths, 200,000 me borrow. So how much me and me I have to go do? But it's not a part of them, I say if you good power maths. So now remember, I'm getting $50,000 a month. So when I'm throwing $20,000 every month for my partner, a 30 grand of 30 grand. But me I tell you these people, I make it work. Enough of the time you have to wrap up my belly. In Jamaica we say you have to burn your belly, which means you have to undergo tight restrictions in order to achieve a goal. Listen, I burn my belly, I burn my toe, I burn my eye, I burn my hey, burn. But girl excited because girl have car and girl can drive and all those back and forth and up and down and left and right and taxi and stranded because rain a fall and taxi man up on the road and da. Girl no have to go through that again. But also I have to go through that, but I also cannot do ill start. And if you know much a man never come from cold up on the hill man that be ill. I plenty time I stand in public, you know, good style, embarrassment, you know. And some of the time, especially remember one time I stalled in the middle of the town, like one of the busiest parts of the town. And like people are saying, who that? And one at my window, look at wouldn't me. Me? And the windows were tinted. Me? Not me, sir. Me? I don't know what it is. But what I did do was I practiced. There in my community there was an abandoned. It wasn't an abandoned road. They were building a scheme and it wasn't finished. You know, so the road is paved and whatever to sell the lots, but it's not really frequent in terms of traffic. So there was a little incline around there. I went me YouTube it. I'm a go around there. I'm a practice, and a friend of mine, he was also learning to drive. He taught himself, and he was, you know, kind of boosting my confidence and saying, "You really can do it, whatever." And so I would practice around there every day or as much as I could to get the confidence to do the hill start. But over time, about the little car. Because remember, say, so I bought it in, I think it was August or September. I bought that car, right? And so, you know, so I have 10 months of partner to pay back. So next year, that's before girl free up for having no farm and look change, put on for say, I want to tell people say, me a burn my belly for pay back my mother, you know. And when I say I didn't take a loan, I mean there is no interest on it. So it's not like me have interest to pay. Like if you took a loan at NCB, whether it be secured or unsecured or any financial institution, you know, you have your loan payment, which is the principal plus interest. I didn't have any interest to pay back, and really I wasn't paying back anything because I was waiting on the partner draw to get the money to give back my mother in full. So it's not like me paying a monthly installment and now in terms of to her, but I have the partner pay, so that come like a monthly installment. Anyways, it's just on a sheet, the original lender. I get back the money same time. Anyways, so I have the car and me telling the people, I'm gonna put a picture of the car somewhere here, hopefully. My daughter, she named the car the little buggy. She was so excited. And she was really one of my main motivations for getting that vehicle because One, she always was sick. She was always getting sick, and I didn't appreciate that. I didn't like that. There are many nights I'd be up, and even though I didn't sleep the night, I'd have to get up after do that long journey for taxi. I'd have to go to work, I'd have to perform, I'd have to pick her up in the evening, and the cycle would continue. I was exhausted, and it was taking a toll on her body, and I didn't appreciate that. So I decided to anything I have to do, even if I have to drink so water, sorry, for the next 10 months, I'm going to get this done. No, people, so I have the car now, you know. Important part, the car, the look of buggy. Crosses and problem in my life. Crosses problem in life. Hey, listen, I was just remembering this the other day, and I had to post it on my status and say, listen, that car here, bust me in life, but boss are the boss. Problem. So because of that car, remember one time, you said when rainfall, I'm not buy a car because when rainfall, I'm stuck on Mandu, I'm stuck in the town, or wherever, I can't get a ride for go home. I carry embarrass me one time, I go and I can't shut off it. Nah, move. I don't know what I'm taking and stall. I mean, I say, what this? Another thing with it was because those small cars, they are older cars, as I said, mine was a 95. There weren't a lot of mechanics who were really versed on it. So I found a mechanic actually install it because there's a society. You know, you have 876, and you have Fit Society or Fit Nation or whatever. And you have also Honda Society, all sorts of societies. So they had one, or they still do have one called Key Nation, because they're called K cars. So they have K Nation. And so when I bought the car, I bought it from somebody who was a part of that, and he kind of linked me up with everybody else. And so they introduced me to a mechanic, and they also helped me to get parts. And in it, I made up on my name phone, and his name Baby Mother, because my baby, the little buggy, was giving me problem. It was like a newborn child. Problem, ball. Listen, but it me still feel good in myself. Come, I have my little car. And really, I'm gonna tell you, you don't know, say that give me a problem. I might say, Mr. Shut off a road, or you see the car park with the four-way on, you might take me on the phone and say, can't move, cannot move. Eventually, my friend's husband, he's also a mechanic. I had him work on the car one time because I really couldn't make it to Spalding. And I told him what was happening, and he said, alright, he's not going to give me about the car until he figures out what the problem is. And he pulled it down, and I had to wait that night so late because him not give him the car until he figured out what the problem is, and he found some wires that were actually corroded. And so because the wires were corroded, when it would rain and it would get cold, they would just stop the car from working. But experience, that car gave me experience. And when I say I'm driving, and you know the mat at my feet, me say no. But the mat wet and the water not throw it. I mean, sit down here, so. So I'm like, somebody sit down here, so throw water. I mean, you want to drive this. My mat wet. Oh, the mat wet car. May I drive over puddles and whatever. My mat wet. And I noticed this for a couple of days, and I say, I know how good I got this. And so when I pull up that mat, I looking outside. Whilst I looking outside, it's a Flintstone car. I have the bottom of the car right now. Look, another time I drive in the morning, and I picked up my cousin's wife because she was going to work, and apparently he couldn't make her in the morning, so she said she begged me. I'm saying, man, girl, come in the car. Hey, we're driving up. I'm geared down, and I hit the clutch, and I felt the clutch go way in and become dead. And I said, no, but the clutch not flick up back. No, it did flick up back, but when we compress it, I'm not getting tension or traction because the clutch is supposed to have some level of tension on it. So when I press the clutch just go down, and I just I said, but not clutch in that car. Now if you know driving a manual transition, it's the clutch that really controls the changing of the gear. So when you depress the clutch, you are able to change the gear because it allows for the engine to be able to accept the gear change. Yes, you can change the gear without the clutch, but at the time, I know that because I watched a YouTube video on it. I'm going to change one time and it worked. I'm going to change again and it worked. But you know, I'm coming to an intersection where I either have to stop to let the cars pass if it's not clear or something. I'm saying I approach the intersection and people not clutching in the car, not clutching in there. If the clutch, if the car stop, then I must start back without the clutch. And I said to myself, I said, Jano, I mean, I pray I go down in a message Jesus when I go do, because honestly, I drove back road. Because when I drive the major roads, because I'm going to block up a morning time, I was taking my daughter to school too. So I'm going to have traffic, so I drove a back road, which would just drop me into the town, minimal traffic, minimal hassle. I'm never really early and then something this, so minimal traffic, I'm a mat something Simon, so. And I said, God, if you can't tap on us, so what am I going to do? Who will come around here? Because my cousin, his vehicle was done, so we'll come around here for me. Anyways, I'm approaching the intersection and I just feel like God said to me, say, you drive out. I mean, sir, I'm going to drive where, sir? Listen, when I go down there now, I think it was a Tacoma. You know the big muscle looking van? I think it was a Tacoma. I said, sure. When I went out and went up on the hill, the car lost power because I needed to have been in first gear to climb the hill and I was not. And the man drove up beside me and I just started apologize profusely. Sir, I'm so sorry. And I started to explain immediately what had happened. And it so happened that the man knew somebody who could fix my car in Mandeville. He was basically the one who, he got the car back down on the flat, he started the car and I steered it and he took the car to the mechanic and the mechanic let me know as I come say, miss, if I never this man I can come do fix a car, come and fix car with people, I know. Because the older man and them have them special people, them still do them thing for, but in a really outside I take no bag of work like that. And I say, look at God, it works out good for me because if it was not so, my mechanic they Spalding, I couldn't get the car there because the car couldn't make it. And it so happened the man dropped the car there to me to work. And I was so grateful. But me I tell you, see that car there, I know about clutch release bearings. Throw out bearings. For those of you who are watching this, you're going to say short bearings. It's not short bearings. It's throw out or clutch release bearings. But in Jamaica we said shorts. That's not the correct name, right? Right. Good. Good. You learned something. I learned about that. I learned about clutch cable, master brake cylinder. Me and drive and car, master brake cylinder done. No car, no brake, no in the vehicle, no brake is in the car. Master brake cylinder. I learned about CV joint. When you turn your steering, if you're driving and you turn your steering and you hear clack, 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 the sound there, your CV joint done. Depending on the side you turn in the vehicle too and the sound you're hearing, you can determine which side. I learned about CV joint boots. Hey, I learned plenty things because of that little car. The point now where I decided to sell it was the clutch I needed. Bushings too. You have to learn about control bushing and all sort of bushing, spark, plug. Look man, the point where I decided to sell the car was I couldn't get the throat. Well, I got the throat bearings, but I didn't change it in time, so it eventually damaged the clutch, and so I'd have to replace the entire clutch. And I couldn't bother with that. And I said, Jesus, I'm not doing this because this car going broke me. Worse than me broke already. Because I'd finished throwing my partner now, pay back my mother, and me I try to get her myself, but I can't now make me get her myself. It's just outside of their ground. The gilla that they care leave me on these streets. Listen. And so I decided to sell it. It was bittersweet because this is your first major accomplishment and you feel yeah girl, spray it on different blue. Hopefully we can put it yes sir. I mean I say yeah girl, but it was becoming strenuous. If I were to say with the knowledge that I have now of what was going to happen, would I do it again? Would I buy that car again? Yes. Why? It taught me a lot. It taught me that you have to be determined. If you go after something, you can't sit down and what if afraid if you allow fear to stand in your way, you're never going to achieve your goals. No matter what those goals are. It may not be a car, it may not be anything material, but you cannot allow fear to stop you because fear is just a defeater of purpose. It is going to throw you down and it is not going to let you up. You have to overcome your fear. Just step out, it shall be well. Another thing it taught me is a lot about cars. Right now, I do drive a manual transmission now, but I drive a Honda Fit. So I know about throat bearings, I know about all the little things that car had taught me before. The experience that I have from it, I wouldn't trade that in for the world. Even though it leave me a road on the regular and embarrass me. That's something I also had to build up to because I was a young driver coming out. And you know, people outside and them are dealing with me strong and them are saying, "Go on, fire road and you can't drive," and them like away there. I'ma feel that way come here, say, "John no star. John no star." And then you know them see you and them says, I must want woman and drive. But no. Why am I so strong, sir? Sir, why are you behaving this way? These days, run up on the feet. Run up on the feet. You will know if it's a woman and drive it. So it taught me to just believe in yourself. Like, yes, I wasn't a professional driver, whatever, practice makes perfect. Believe in yourself, and from this is something that you want, you can perfect it. You can become the master of anything you put your mind to, as long as you apply the steps it takes to become the master. You have to be willing to sacrifice some time and little embarrassment to become good and perfect the art. So whatever it is, whether it be driving a manual transition, learning a new skill, whatever, just put your time and effort into it, be patient with yourself, and you will get there. Another thing that I was appreciative of is the fact that man I would take you for fool because you're a woman and you go fix your car. People, I've had to be very loud on a mechanic once before because he was supposed to change the CV joint. He did not, or he didn't do it properly. And I was driving and I heard the same sound and whatever. And I went back and I was saying to him, because the man that bad me up for money, you know, and I said, brother, okay, I'm going to pay your money, and so I expect me for work for the good. So I'm going to get back my car, and the work don't do good with that now. Yeah, man, upset. And so I realized that especially dealing with men, whether it be sellers of cars, because the man is selling the car too, I did have him up, and have him up again, the Lord say I must forgive. Because he overpriced that vehicle to meet his personal targets, which when you sell car, you're free for that because somebody go buy and you just know whatever, right? So me this so eager and anxious now, me just jump in and yeah and whatever. I didn't really do a lot of research, which is something that I learned. You have to do your research, you have to know your bargain price, you have to carry somebody who will stand up on them foot and say, I will not pay that because it's not worth it. And always walk with your mechanic and make sure you know him and do because some of them are macaroni. Make sure you know what I do. So it taught me a lot. I have a lot of experience from it, and so I'm grateful. The fact also that I didn't really have a loan to tie me to a 2 and 3 and 4 year kind of repayment thing. There was no interest to pay back. I'm grateful for that. They experienced it too. Yeah, so that's how I got my first car. On my $50,000 salary. It was heavy to have to take that much, almost 50% of it, to put aside to pay the partner to pay back the money. But again, it taught me the power of sacrifice, right? If you want good, you know, have to run sometime, blood will come too, and the nose not have blood. For the farm, those of you who don't understand the patois. Another thing that we have, another saying that we have is that if you want to become anything, there is going to be some level of turmoil. If you know that some of the times you are working so hard, you sweat to the point where your nose begins to drain, then that's it. So my takeaway from this, if there's something that you want to do, sure, get a plan in place, know and be committed to making the sacrifice, and go ahead. On my $50,000 salary, I bought the car. It wasn't the best car, but I still had a car, and I wanted a car at the time. It did help me. I go beach, I'm go sing, I'm still look outside them girl, it's still outside. And so I gained a lot of experience from it, which money cannot buy. So yeah, that's how I got my first car. For my $50,000 salary without taking a formal loan. Without taking a formal loan, because really my mother was the lender. And so thank you for watching this video. If you've come this far in the video, please subscribe if you're not yet. For those of my new subscribers, thank you for subscribing. Welcome to the family. Of course, this is live, or this was live. I watched the video already. This was live with Nessa and Denai, and of course I'm Nessa. Bye.